If you've never been through the estate planning process before, or if it's been many years since your last review, you are in good company. Most people walk into our first meeting together with the same feeling, thinking, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do here. And that feeling is completely normal. Life changes, families evolve, the laws change, and even the best plans over time start to feel unfamiliar or out of date. So whether this is your first experience or the first time in a long time, it makes sense to feel uncertain. You're not supposed to have all the answers or know exactly what you need. That's part of why estate planning exists, to give you clarity and structure. In this video, I want to help you understand what an attorney's role should be, what your role is, and what the process looks like, so you feel well prepared for your first meeting, whether it's with me or any other estate planning attorney. So first, I want to touch on the attorney's role. When you sit down with an estate planning attorney, their first job, is to understand you. Before discussing documents or strategies, it should feel like a real conversation, not a test to see how much you know or how much homework you did. A good attorney will want to understand your family dynamics. Do you have beneficiaries who need protection? Special needs individuals, young children or grandchildren, individuals with mental health challenges or substance abuse disorders. Maybe you just have concerns about leaving money outright to certain people. Or maybe you don't trust the spouse of that person. You might be concerned about your loved one losing money in a divorce. We want to talk about what you own. Do you own your home, maybe a vacation or rental property, investments, retirement accounts, life insurance policies, valuable collectibles? We want to know what your fears are. What are your concerns? What are your goals? And here's something I emphasize often. You are not expected to walk in knowing what type of will, trust, or structure you need. Once the attorney understands your big picture, it's their job to identify the right type of plan and to present you with options. A good attorney should also help filter those options for you. Now let's talk about my personal favorite subject, tax. Tax questions come up constantly in estate planning, especially in Pennsylvania. Regardless of what your circumstances are, tax efficiency should be considered from the very beginning. In my practice, this is an area that I take very seriously. After law school, I made the decision to go back to school to get a master's of law in tax. I made that decision because the world of trusts and estates and tax law are so deeply connected. And I wanted the training that was necessary to identify every opportunity to protect families from overpaying in taxes. I can tell you that estate planning requires an attorney to know about lots of different forms of tax and different tax concepts. Things like inheritance tax, gift and estate tax, realty transfer tax, capital gains tax, depreciation, expense deductions, charitable deductions, ordinary income tax. The list goes on and on and on. I like to describe it this way. The estate plan that you can see, who's in charge, where things are going, that's the interface. Those are like the buttons on the screen that you can engage with. The tax planning is the operating system running quietly in the background. Whether your estate plan is simple or sophisticated, the tax layer is always part of the design. If there's a strategy that you should consider, it's my job to find it. Now let's touch on confidentiality. Everything that you share with your attorney should be completely confidential. You should feel comfortable talking about family tension, relationship concerns, financial concerns, maybe beneficiaries who need extra support. This information will help the attorney protect you and your loved ones. And if you bring family members to the meeting, just know that the attorney may ask to speak with you privately first, not because anything's wrong, but to ensure that you're comfortable and that you give permission before others join the conversation. This is part of the attorney's ethical duty to their client. Your privacy always comes first. Estate planning is a partnership. And here's what your role typically looks like. Number one, honesty about both the easy and the uncomfortable things. Number two, thoughtfulness about who you trust for important responsibilities. Number three, a little bit of homework. We're going to want to think about how you want things structured and who may need extra protection. Number four, questions. You should never sign an estate plan that you don't fully understand. A good attorney should explain everything to you clearly and patiently. But this may not be intuitive, so if you have questions, it's important to speak up. It's a lot like a relationship with a doctor. If you're not willing to share much about what's going on with your health, a doctor isn't going to be able to help you. Next, I want to talk about our process. The first step, before we even meet, my team will send you resources. This will include educational videos, an inventory to help you begin organizing the key details of your estate plan. Completing this ahead of time helps our meeting stay focused and productive. I'm starting to require that clients fill this out ahead of time before we meet. It's really that important. Of course, if there's something that doesn't make sense, skip it. We can cover that in our meeting. Once you've had time with the materials and you've begun your inventory, we schedule our meeting. We use a team-based approach, which means that you might meet with me or another attorney in our office, likely Gabe Wirtz, also an estate planning attorney. You might meet with both of us. We work collaboratively and we review all files together. So no matter who leads your meeting, you're getting the same level of attention, care, and expertise. During this meeting, we'll talk through your goals, your family dynamics, your assets, and any concerns that need to be addressed. Next, we'll provide options and recommendations. After we understand your big picture, we outline the plan options that fit your situation and help you determine what feels appropriate for your goals. The next step is designing your plan. Once you choose a direction, our team begins building it. The timeline will depend on complexity. I often compare it to working with a contractor. Sometimes you just need a small adjustment, kind of like a repair that a handyman can do. Sometimes you're adding a room. Sometimes you're building something with multiple layers. The more involved the plan, the more intentional the design, and the timing will reflect that. Some plans may take 3 to 4 weeks. Some may take 3 to 4 months, maybe more. Some people have a misconception that estate plans are cookie cutter. There may be some fairly simple plans, but I find that more often than not, there are specific and unique issues that require customization. Much more than people may think. Next step is reviewing and signing your plan. When your plan is ready, we'll send it to you for review and we'll meet again to walk through everything in plain language. Once you're comfortable, we sign your documents in person so the plan becomes legally effective. After signing, when you leave with clear guidance on next steps so you don't have to feel like you have to remember every detail, just want to remind you that we are always available to answer simple questions after you sign your documents at no additional cost to you. And the final step, I guess you could call it, would be check-ins. As life changes, your plan can be updated. When life circumstances evolve, we can revisit your plan together to make sure that it still fits. In closing, estate planning is one of the most meaningful things that you can do for your family. It doesn't have to feel overwhelming when you understand what to expect and when you have someone walking with you, step by step. Whether you meet with me or with another estate planning attorney, I hope that this video will help you feel prepared for that journey and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.